1,
2,
3,
4.
Monster movie.
Fun time, go! Monster movie.
Fun time, go. Monster
Movie.
Fun time.
Go!
Monster movie. Fun time, go.
With Precious D and Honey Bee.
Fun time, go!
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, friends and neighbors, welcome to Monster Movie Fun Time Go. I am one of your hosts, Precious D.
And I'm the other one of your hosts, Honey Bee.
We are two best friends making our way through the history of kaiju movies. We began with the original King Kong in 1933, and today we are up to 2022, and the movie is Troll, not to be confused with Troll from 1986. Or Trolls from 2016. So, it may not surprise anyone to know that this is a Norwegian movie.
Of course it is.
It is a Netflix film. 101 minutes from Norway in Norwegian, but you can watch it dubbed if you want to. There's no budget or box office listed. I don't know if this even had a theatrical release or just went straight to Netflix.
Damn.
Yeah, it looks like it just says it was released by Netflix in December 1st, 2022.
Huh. Weird for a Christmas movie, but we'll take it.
The cast is a bunch of Norwegian names that I'm going to have problems with, but we'll give it a try.
Woo!
Ine Marie Willman as Nora Tideman.
Tittleman.
Nora Tideman. Tittleman? I don't see an L.
Oh, that's what
Just
the English dub is Tittleman.
Okay. It says Tideman here. Kim Falk as Andreas Isaacson. Mads Sjogard Peterson as Captain Christopher Holm. Gard B. Eidsvold as Tobias Tideman. Tideman, I guess. Annika von der Lippe as Barrett Moberg. Fridtjof Sahem as Friedrich Markussen, Dennis Storhoy as Sver Lund, Caroline Victoria Sletsing Garvang as Sigrid Honde, Yusuf Tush Ibra as Amir Augedi, Bjarn Hedgeld as Richard Sinding, John Kettle Johnson as Professor Moeller, Duke Paul Maithie as Professor Wangle, Ingrid Volin as Oddrun Gundersen, Trond Magnum as Lars Gundersen, Paul Richard Lunderby as Fisker, Eric Vornholt as OPS officer, and Hugo Mikkel Skar as helicopter pilot. And it does list the whole English dub cast, but I'm not going to read all those. I don't see anybody I've heard of anyway. Honeybee, what are your initial thoughts and feelings on Troll?
Well, my initial thoughts and feelings are we've probably seen this movie. Or something very similar to it. But that's okay, because I felt like it was very well done. I was grateful for the English dub, and I liked the main character. I liked her nutter butter dad, and I thought it was great. I enjoyed it.
Yeah, I watched it when it first came out, and I watched it again this week. I did watch the English dub, and I thought they did a really good job.
Yeah.
The voices felt like they matched everybody, and weren't too far off from what the lips were doing. Mm-hmm. And everybody in it was good. So, and the effects were okay.
Yeah, I thought the effects were all right as well.
And it's all CGI stuff.
Mm-hmm.
No dude in a suit here. So, let's just dive into the plot, which we have from Wikipedia. Thank you, Wikipedia. As a young girl, Nora Tideman listens to her father Tobias narrating the mythology of trolls and the origin of their local mountains. During one story, Nora almost sees the faces of the trolls turn to stone in the rock face.
Years later. I would say during the story. That's not exactly what happened. Her dad was like, Her dad was like, believe, see it, believe it. And he's like, you remember, you know that saying, believe it and you'll see it, or see it and I don't know. But he's like, it's the opposite, actually. If you just believe, you'll see it. And she like kind of sees, like thinks she sees the faces in the mountains. And this is kind of an important scene because it kind of sets the tone for the rest of their whole dynamic in the relationship. But I also really loved the little kind of, what, I don't know, not a jingle, but their little saying for the trolls where it was like, made of earth and stone, stone-clad heart and icy bones, from darkness they came and died in the light. I was like, well, that doesn't rhyme. I'm sure it probably sounds better in Norwegian, but it was just like, you know, it was rhyming and it was going so well, and then it was just like, and then they died in the light, and I was like, that's hysterical.
The saying was, seeing is believing, but it's the opposite.
Okay, yeah.
You have to believe first and then you'll see, which is just some nonsense because, you know, if you believe in fairies, you'll start seeing fairies everywhere. No, ma'am, that's a butterfly. No, it was a fairy.
Well, it's kind of true in that sense, I think, of like, you know, the mind.
Yeah, but it doesn't make it true.
Sure.
And it's no way to do science.
Don't misuse science.
That's right. Years later, a drilling operation tunneling through the mountains of Dovre municipality results in an eruption and the deaths of several workers and protesters. Desperate for answers, the Norwegian government recruits a diverse array of scientists, including Nora, who is now a paleontologist on her first major find.
And we kind of get this.
Dug up some big
yeah,
bones.
yeah. We got this like scene where her and her like group are doing a dig, and someone's like, "Where's Nora?" And they're like, "She started another dig." And he's like, "Another one?" And he goes up to her and he's like, "I just got off the phone with the people who are giving us all this money, and we've been out here for weeks and we haven't like found anything." And she's like, "You have to have faith, 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 faith." And then wazah, they find like, you know, the dinosaur bones.
Were you doing a little George Michaels there?
Baby.
So let's see. They call her in while she's out there digging up dinosaur bones. While the collected scientists initially believed that the eruption was caused by the miners hitting a pocket of methane, only Nora and the Prime Minister's advisor Andreas Isaacson, I think. Anyway, point out that the region is surrounded by large impressions that appear to be footprints.
I would like to call this guy Egghead.
Yeah.
We'll just call him Egghead because Dad does and I like it.
Yeah. The Prime Minister permits them to investigate the possibility further with Norwegian soldier Captain Chris Holm from the FSK when a second incident miles away tears apart the home of an elderly couple near Lesja.
Which, I'm not going to lie, this scene with the elderly couple really made me want to get a basement. Like, I am not kidding. I was like, holy shit. I understand why, you know, storm cellars and basements could be good for, you know, if you have a fucking troll stomping around.
Nora begins to believe that a troll may be responsible, and the three seek assistance from Tobias, who has since lost his professorship for his belief in the existence of a real basis for mythical creatures.
Okay, but before we get to Dad's house, we got to talk about Egghead in the helicopter telling us about his book, because it's about a monk who can rip his head off and throw it so it can bite people? First of all, why would a monk do that? But second of all, what?
I'm assuming he means like a Kung Fu Shaolin monk.
Oh, that makes way more sense. He's like, yeah, he can rip his fingers off and use them like darts. And like, I'm picturing like a Buddhist monk, like ripping his head off and like trying to bite people. And I was like, what the actual fuck?
I mean, Shaolin monks are Buddhist monks, but they're not Christian monks. They're not Franciscans or.
Oh, okay. See, I know nothing about.
Benedictine.
I just know the word and have a picture in my brain from like media. Okay. You know what I mean?
So there's a Dungeons and Dragons class called a monk. That's clearly based on Kung Fu Shaolin monks. But it seems like many early illustrators and miniature creators did not understand that.
Oh.
And so occasionally you'll see illustrations and miniatures where they're like Christian monks with those little bowl cuts and bald spots.
Oh my God.
But holding a staff like they're ready to fight with it.
That's
like, no, it's
hilarious.
Not that kind of monk. Everybody seems to have figured it out now, but in early days there was some confusion. These people had not watched Kung Fu, the TV series Kung Fu. They didn't know. So yeah, I assume that's the kind of monk he's writing about. Oh, he also has a little girlfriend that works at the base.
Oh, I
They are
love that.
into Star Trek.
She's his.
They make a-
What does he call it? His Spock. The Spock.
Yeah.
What does he call her?
Yeah, Spock to his Kirk, and then make the
Oh.
Vulcan peace sign at each other. After a quick search of the mountains, Tobias identifies a topographical anomaly, and the four accidentally awaken the slumbering 50-meter, that's 150-foot troll, having camouflaged itself on the mountainside. They
And then
escape capturing the first.
they have obviously never seen a kaiju movie because the first thing they do is try to get in the helicopter, which I understand makes sense. Like, you want to get out of there, but you never want to get in a helicopter or a plane if you see a kaiju because you're going to get your ass
No.
konged.
Yep, they'll slap that thing. They escape capturing the first tangible video proof of Nora's theory. Now, this is what I found weird, though. She takes her dad, into the compound, and she's like, now, Dad, don't start saying a bunch of crazy shit. But you just found a troll.
Yeah.
And she doesn't want him to talk to anybody about trolls. All your crazy theories, all his crazy theories are correct. Mm-hmm. And you need him to just tell everybody right now.
And you obviously know
have
they're
proof.
correct because you went and got him. Like.
Yes. Yeah. The Prime Minister arranges a military operation led by Chris. However, conventional weapons only annoy the troll. Of course, Tobias tries communicating with the troll, but is killed when the creature is startled by more gunfire. No, Dad, no.
Papa! Papa!
Live by the troll, die by the troll. Researching the mythology, Nora recommends a sonic attack using church bells, but it enrages the creature instead of incapacitating it, causing immense collateral damage. So yeah, it was the Christianization of Norway that caused the trolls to disappear or at least go dormant. And they hate the sound of church bells.
But in the church bell, like after he kongs the church bells and the helicopters and shit, he does pull a little bit of a Gamera and saves a kid.
Yeah.
And we kind of see it, and Nora's like, did you see that? Like, did he just save that kid? Because when the dad's talking to the troll too, he's like, hello there, hang on a second. And then the troll doesn't necessarily mean to kill the dad. He just smacks him with his tail once he's turning around fighting the military who's pew-pewing him. So, but we see him kind of talk to the dad, and then we see him Gamera this kid and save him from a crashing something or other.
Yeah. Oh, they also mention here somewhere the whole idea of them smelling the blood of Christians.
And it apparently is true because he
trolls-
eats a guy praying.
Yeah. So they don't like that. Which I think we mentioned this the last time we watched a troll movie. It's a variation on that fee fi fo fum. I smell the blood of an Englishman. Mm-hmm. You substitute Christian man. I think that those both come from the same concept. I wondered later on when Chris calls his friend in who's Muslim, did you call him specifically because he's not Christian?
Well, it would be smart if
he would
did.
be safe. Yeah. Let's see, where was I? Following the rampage, international news outlets pick up the story and broadcast it globally. As the troll heads to Norway's capital, Oslo, the Prime Minister orders a complete evacuation of the city. After learning of the government's plan to destroy the troll with a nuclear bomb on Oslo, Nora and Andreas object, but are dismissed from the task force. I mean, it's a
he's
a
not
reasonable
exactly
objection.
dismissed. He quits.
That's true.
He resigns.
Nora makes a last attempt to find out the truth about the creature. Tobias's notes lead them to the royal palace where they meet Chief of Court Rikard Sinding, who reveals the truth about trolls in Norway. Tobias had been right all along. Trolls have been living in Norway until they were wiped out by Christian settlers and the truth buried in folklore. When Nora's father got too close to the truth, Sinding had him discredited and committed to a mental health hospital. Boo.
You son of a bitch.
The royal palace was built on top of the Troll King's palace after the Christians massacred his family and left him for dead inside a cavern in the Dovra Mountains after luring him with his kidnapped child. Jesus. Nora
Sounds
concludes
like a
that the
Christian.
creature... yeah. Nora concludes that the creature is heading for Oslo in an attempt to return home.
Which is so sad,
Discovering
you
that-
guys. It's so fucking sad.
Yeah.
We kind of get, this reminds me of, like, when Kong is, like, in the legendary movies, is, like, searching for his family, and, like, he's the only one of his kind, and, like,
Yeah.
I was like, this is so freaking sad, man.
Yeah. Discovering that trolls are vulnerable to direct sunlight, Nora and Chris plan to expose the troll to UV lights from a number of tanning beds. While Chris calls on fellow soldiers to make the troll trap, Andreas asks his friend Sigrid at the secret government facility to delay the bombing of Oslo. She's able to just hack into the plane.
Yeah, I love when she's like, how
That's
hard
carrying
can
the
it be
bomb.
to hack into a military-grade computer? And they're like, well, and she's like, no, seriously, how hard can it be?
Sigrid hacks into the military system to halt the nuclear strike. Nora and Andres place the skull of one of the troll's babies in the back of the Queen's truck and lure him to the UV light trap. Nora has a last-minute change of heart, turns off the lights, and tries to save the creature's life. However, the sun then rises into a clear sky and kills the troll. While everyone else rejoices, Andreas and Nora wonder if more trolls are still alive deep inside Norway's mountains. In the mid-credits, something seems to emerge with a roar from the rubble inside the Dovra mountain cave.
So when the troll, like, gets in the sunlight and he, like, turns into a boulder, they're like, what should we name it? Should we name it Tideman or Tittleman or whatever the fuck their name is, Boulder? And she's like, no, we should name it Tobias Boulder, after my father, who was right this whole time, you son of a bitch. She doesn't say any of that. But then at the credits, they play the scariest song known to man. Do you know what song I'm talking about? And it's like, bim, 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 bim.
Oh, yeah. I meant to mention that. I forgot to. Yes, that is in the Hall of the Mountain King from the... I think it's not an opera. It's incidental music written for the play Peer Gynt, which has him... The Mountain King is a troll. He tricks a troll at one point.
That
I think it's a whole thing where
freaks me the fuck out.
He's supposed to marry the Troll King's daughter or something and then pulls off some kind of trick. I've never actually seen it. But yes, they use that music a lot in movies. In particular, they like to use it in troll movies because that's what it's about. And they sort of hinted at it throughout the soundtrack, but then they play a more direct section of it in the closing credits here. But they just sort of played around with it and got close to it throughout the movie without playing it outright.
It freaks me out. It's scary. It's the scariest song I've ever heard. I could literally start feeling anxious listening to that song.
They used it in the Ashlad movies.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
I can't remember if they used it in Troll Hunter or not. But they
I
definitely
don't
used
remember
it in the
either.
Ashlad movies. Which I believe the Ashlad stories are related to Peer Gynt. They're sort of variations on the same story.
In the kind of like closer in the beginning of the movie, whenever we're still like finding everything out, someone says, like, we're talking about what is it called, like pollution and things, what could be happening with the before we know it's a troll, and someone says, I guess we better call Greta. And I was like, wow, that is a very recent reference. It's crazy that we're in 2022 right now, and it's like, oh yeah. Holy shit. Okay, weird, crazy. What was another? I had another good line. Oh, when the military are going into, like, they're about to go fight the troll, and Captain Chris is like, if we survive, I owe you a Pepsi and a Toblerone. I was like, fuck yeah.
So there's a sequel. There's a sequel that came out last year, so we'll be getting to that pretty soon. Also on Netflix, direct to Netflix.
Yeah, it was all right. It was an all right movie. I'm just seeing if there's anything else in my notes that we missed. Oh, when Nora's trying to tell the government, like, no, listen to me. We got to do this thing because of the fairy tales. And they're like, and then Captain Chris is like, hang on, darling. Maybe they'll listen to a man. And then he tells them the exact same thing. And they're just like,
Right?
no, nothing. We're doing it our way. I just thought that was funny. Yeah, I think that's it. I think that's all I got.
Okay. Well, what are you going to rate Troll from 2022?
I'm gonna give it maybe like a 3.8, like a soft 4. I liked it. It was all right. It was okay. Maybe a 3.
I think I gave it 5 stars when it came out. So
Oh,
we'll go ahead and
shit.
stick with that.
Okay, 5
Yeah, I
stars.
really
Yeah,
like-
that's good.
I really liked it.
Oh,
It does seem like that Norway only makes troll movies.
as far as kaiju movies go.
Well, but wasn't There's Something in the Barn, wasn't that also Norwegian?
Yeah, it was.
And it was just about a different type of troll, but they were still
It
trolls.
was a tiny Santa troll. It was like a gnome,
Yeah.
more like than a troll. I guess.
They were like gnolls, but I think they still called them trolls.
Yeah. There was another moment where the egghead guy and Captain Chris were like, looking off into the distance, and he's like, "Oh, are you wearing the bloody blahs?" And he was like, "Yeah. Did you serve in, or were you in the service?" And he's like, Call of Duty." And I was like,
Yes, yeah.
that was pretty funny too.
I just looked it up. They called them elves in something.
Oh, elves. Okay.
So I guess Norway has elves and trolls. If it's small, it's an elf. If it's big, it's a troll. But yes,
Yeah.
their elves are more like what we would call gnomes,
Gnomes, yeah,
or
for sure.
like North Pole elves, not Tolkien elves.
Yeah, I thought it was all right. I'm glad we did it. I can't wait to see the second one.
Yeah. So if it's on Netflix, folks, if you haven't seen it, and the second one is on there as well. That's going to wrap it up for today, I believe. Please consider checking out our side project, Mars Needs Movies. You can listen to it wherever you're listening to this one. Just look it up. On that podcast, we talk about movies involving alien invasions, incursions, infiltrations, and visitations. If a space alien comes to Earth, then it is in the category of that podcast. We're just getting started. We're doing alternating new ones with replays from our 31 Days of Horror from last year. So check it out. If you like what we're doing, please rate and review, like and subscribe, and go check out our Patreon at mmftg.com. Until next time. Oh, wait, what's next week's movie? Where's my list? Hold on.
Hold, please. It's like Warriors something.
Oh. Warriors of Future, not of the future, just Warriors of Future. It's on Tubi, I believe.
Yes, it is.
Is it Chinese?
Don't give me a line.
It's either Chinese or Japanese. So there you go, folks. Thanks for joining us. Until next time, I have been Precious D.
And I have been Honey Bee.
Remember to keep calm and take shelter in basements.
And please, don't misuse science.
We won't see you, but you'll hear us next time on Monster Movie Fun Time Go. You've been listening to Monster Movie Fun Time Go. If you enjoyed the show, please consider rating and reviewing us on your podcasting platform of choice. You can leave us a message and find links to all our things at mmftg.com.